What's going on, traders? Welcome to Money Mitch. Yes, you made it, the one and only. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, I know you probably saw the consumer cyclical sector ripping off. This is the same sector we were calling out yesterday and calling it out in the morning. Now we're starting to see some really good lift. We got the gambling going. We got resorts, casinos, specialty retailing, leisure. Those were some that we just talked about yesterday. This is why we do our sector and industry analysis and why you guys are here on Money Mitch.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
What up, traders? I had to fix my lighting there. I noticed I was a little bit in the dark, and I don't want to keep you guys in the dark. So let's go ahead and let's get right to it. Let's take a look here at our market. What are we seeing out there? Of course, this is the Consumer Cyclical Index, but let's take a look first, like we always do, at the SPY. Let's see what happened today. We had some sideways action, pretty much a kind of a harmy candle, you can call it there. We'll see if we get some pullback closer towards 444, towards the 9 EMA here. If not, I could see it pushing back up there towards 450. Now let's take a look at the Qs because we did get a good reaction yesterday. Now we're kind of getting this in-between candle. Are we going to pull back towards this 369 and being able to hold that resistance there? That's the focus for us right now on the Qs, and we'll see if this one is able to come back and hold that pullback. Today, some of the leaders in the Qs, you could look at PDD, JD, Baidu. What does that have all in common? Of course, the Chinese commerce plays. They definitely got a good bounce back. And for that being mentioned, I'm sure Baba had a good day also. Peloton having a good day. Looks like a stay-at-home play. Really starting to push back. I'd keep an eye out on this one. Another one that's starting to push back that we talked about, really starting to give that nice curl look, is Match.com. I could see this one coming right back up there towards 155. I'll definitely keep a watch on this one. But let's take a look how we always do. We take a look at sectors, and then we move into the industries, right? And so we talked about this, how we saw this curl here, this curling action. It was just bounced right off the 200-day moving average. And this is exactly what I wanted to see, that 200-day moving average hold well and us coming right back up there. Can we run into some resistance soon? Yes, that can happen. But let's take a look at some of these stocks that moved big today. Of course, leading the consumer cyclicals, we could take a look at first some industries like gambling. Gambling really starting to push on up. Exactly what we wanted to see because we had that 9 EMA and the 200-day below it. It held this turn, and now we're really starting to push on up. Some of these plays you could call out DKNG. One that I did get stopped out in, and I'm still a little upset. Yes, I know it happens, guys. We get stopped out at some trades, and then we see them rip. If I would have held to my original entry, yes, I would have been still in this trade. I went and tried to work on my skill of adding to a position, adding to winners. Thus, this one actually ended up stopping me out in that process, and we all got to improve somewhere. That's where I'm trying to improve right now. And it's going to happen. But DKNG really starting to push on up. I like this move now, and I think it can get up there towards 60 pretty soon. RSI making a nice push on up. GNAN making a good push. But, of course, the one that we talked about yesterday was Penn. Could it get through that resistance? And look where we're getting up towards. We drew this yesterday, and now we're looking at it to see if it's going to break through that. And exactly what we got today. A push right back up towards that resistance. We were looking for it. Now that we got in this move on up, now can it break these 3 attempts, right? So we had an attempt here, an attempt here, and an attempt here to break out of this kind of pattern. Now we really need to get above it and then close above it and hold to show that strength in Penn. And I could see it coming back closer towards that 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average right now is sitting at 88.80. So that's a kind of like a minimal target for me. I think this one's going to eventually get back above 100, and then we can attack this 118 resistance. This is Penn. All right, let's go into some other big moves. You could look at the resorts and casinos. We talked about that yesterday, how this could get a nice lift. Some of these really moving today. Caesars moving on up. You could look at Wynn, nice push back off the kind of those 90s look. And Bally is one that I've been talking about, guys. And this one's really started to bounce back. I'm looking for it to get through 50. And when it gets to 50, we need to see a nice volume push, get that lift right back up there. MGM was another one I talked about. I really like their betting platform, so they're really starting to push on up there. Done in about 3 days, about 10%. So it's okay if we see a retrace tomorrow. Just letting you guys know. It doesn't mean that these are just going to go straight on up. They're going to go up, they're going to pull back a little bit, and they're going to recollect that strength. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other ones. BYD, you can also look at it. I like that one also because it's just setting up nice and symmetrical. Look at the weekly. That's a nice, pretty looking candle here, and you could really draw the support right underneath it. See it really holding. Now you want to see it get back up there towards 65. That's Board Gaming Group, Board Gaming Corp. Let's go ahead. Let's look at specialty retailing. GameStop. Where is the GameStop fans out there? I'm going to catch up with the chat. What's up? How you guys doing out there? Yes, AMC's been ripping. Check out Cisco. We'll definitely take a look. What's going on out there? Freaking Money Mitch. You already know where we're at. Let's keep it going, guys. If you guys had a good play, let me know what you guys looked at today. But GME, look at this rip on the hourly. This is how I attack it now. Is I'd really pay attention to these hourly pullbacks. You got to be careful with a 5-minute or even a 1-minute chart on these because you're going to see a lot of chop action. One thing I would pay attention to is trying to use multi-time frames to find the support on the stock. Now it just went straight into that kind of resistance. I had drawn this line out, and this can tell you right here, created May 13th, updated on what? It was updated on July 21st. And so that's the last time I touched this line where I extended it out. And look how symmetrical it goes right to it. There's a reason why, guys. And the reason I actually like that TC can tell you the date that you drew the lines because, I mean, you guys see it there. I mean, that date doesn't lie. And now it's interesting because it came right to that and stopped. Now what you want to see is what's going to happen from here. I would actually go as far back as using a monthly candle on this. And you can see we're approaching some monthly highs. We could start ripping through here, getting through 250. If we get through 250, next stop is 325s. And then from there, we're just going to need volume because if you look down here, this is what you don't want to see though, because it's not gaining that momentum into the breakout. We want to see it rip. We need some volume like we got early in January. So couldn't we get that volume again? We'll pay attention to it. Where is that signal posted? Is it too late to get into GME and AMC? GME and AMC, I mean, honestly, you got to just be careful because you're just trying to call something that already ripped. Like there's one thing calling the bottom on those and you were attacking the supports right now. There's another thing looking at AMC and saying, now I want to get in it. But if you would have been using, let's say, a weekly chart and you would have been going off of these 31s, these 28s, this support right here, the low here, 28.53. Look how close this one gets here. The low there is what? 29.40. So those are the kind of moments that you want to attack right here, 28.91. You want to get that best risk to return on a stock that's this volatile. Now you have to wait for pullbacks. And when you're waiting for pullbacks, I like to use hourly charts and maybe attack the VWAP or the 9 EMA here. So pullback to 42, 41 seems like a buy, but you could not get that. And it's really a big pullback if it happens from here. From the high down towards that level, it'd be about 14% pullback from a breakout of about 30%. So you're talking about 50% retracement of the move. What's up? Did you catch the Dolphins? Dude, don't even get me started, Tony. Don't get me started on football. We'll talk all day. I'm going to be soon releasing some football content. So if you guys want to stay tuned for that, definitely stay tuned for that. We'll get into some other stocks here. What other ones moved big on consumer cyclicals? Let's go ahead and take a look. What other ones we can find here? What trades can we find? This one's interesting. Look at this. Look how symmetrical this one is. The key is, can it get the 200-day moving average below it, though? That's what I would want to see. So now that we gotten back above this is a $2 stock. So we're talking really cheap. We need to get it back below, kind of test this 270, and then scoop back up through that 200-day moving average through to $3. DLPN, Dolphin Entertainment. This is an NFT stock. Look how it's been riding. It hasn't been doing bad on an hourly and daily. Sideways action, holding sideways. Now getting a nice push above 11. I would look for pullbacks to 1150 in this one. This one could continue going. You saw a nice volume pop today on the bottom there. This is one to keep on radar. DLPN. If you guys got a stock you guys want me to take a look at, definitely put it in the chat. This is the time right now. I see Christy talking about GNAN. Let's bring it up. GNAN made a nice move yesterday. And you guys know I've been talking about the gambling sector overall, or the gambling industry overall, going to make this move. I really like that GNAN, when it had this kind of gap down, it filled it immediately. We've been seeing these gap down fills happen often. Same thing happened essentially in kind of a DKNG and also RSI. So now that we're starting to see these gap fills and pushing on up, what I would want to see in GAN is a little bit of a sideways action when it gets to 1750, because you're going to run into some overhead supply of everybody that was stuck between, let's say, June and now. So you are going to run into a little bit of sideways action there. But I would really want to see it once it gets to 20. That's where I could see this stock heading right now. 200-day moving average right there. And I think we're definitely heading towards this resistance. It's tried multiple times to break this down, and it reversed quickly through it. So it looks like it wants to break through that resistance. The key is, are we going to get that following volume to get us through the next level? Next level up would be 20. And from that level, we're talking about 23s and 25s. Not a bad stock, though, definitely to have on your radar. All right, let's go ahead and maybe take one more stock here. I'm seeing Roblox by thinking about it. I know he's always in the chat here, so definitely a shout out there. We look at Roblox start taking off. I really love the 3 bottoming actions on this stock. That's why I have these circles drawn out. And then we pop right back up and then held sideways, exactly what you want to see. It started holding the support here. Now the big thing is, can we get a pullback, maybe closer towards 87? But this one looks like it's ready to send itself off on a ride. I might try to look to trade this one on like a day trade momentum. But for right now, since I don't see the big dip coming, and I do see more of a breakout, I would be looking for a momentum play into this one, Roblox. All right, just your opinion. I got some money to pump into either one of these playing. Where do you see the bigger gains? That's not what it's about, man. I mean, if I could point you to the returns, I would point you to the returns. But at the end of the day, you got to learn how to just do a system. Because, yeah, I mean, I could get you, one winner, and I mean, that's one winner. But at the end of the day, I mean, what I want to teach here is system and process, because that's what's going to get you to be in and out of these and take multiple stocks, not just take one stock and then get on out of here. From those stocks, I can tell you right now, I mean, they're all kind of really speculative. This one has a lot of volume that it needs to get through. So you're talking 60 million, 50 million shares. And then in the last couple of days, you probably don't even have that much volume all the way added up. The volume that you had right now, 4.6 million. So you have to get through that high, 77 cents, with 60 million shares traded. That's what I'd want to see at least so it can continue towards that $1 run. A lot of times these do try to make $1 runs, but it's definitely high risk and probably low accuracy kind of trade. All right, Penn, we already went over it. Teach them how to fish, brother. That's the only way at the end of the day. I mean, we all can go catch a dolphin. Go get yourself a captain. Go out there. You're going to catch something. But we all want to be able to do ourselves and continue doing this, not just one trade. And that's why you guys see me try to teach this sector to industry to stock analysis, because I think that's really the best way to go about it in the market. Market opens in 5 minutes. I don't know what market that is, but all right, guys. So that's all you're going to do it for the analysis for today. Now we are going to get towards an interview. I told you guys, I've been trying to bring you guys some more traders. I've been trying to kind of learn from their perspective, how they do things. And then you guys can learn from that too. It's all about the process building. So let's go ahead. Let's bring on another trader here. I got Sangha. Did I say it right? Let me unlock you. There you go. Did I say it right? Good?
You did. You're perfect.
Perfect. I'm happy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And so first things first, I want to know a little bit more about your journey as a trader. Then we'll get into more specifics of what kind of trader you are. But how did you get into trading in the first place?
Well, basically, the pandemic hit last year. I live in California, and we had a ton of lockdowns and whatnot. I kind of like a sign, you could say, in a lot of ways. I saw a quote that said, in a couple of months from now, you're either going to be tapped out on all the shows on Netflix or you're going to learn something. And I wanted to be the one to learn something. So I jumped in the game blindly, didn't really have anybody kind of guiding me, but learned a ton from you guys, which is awesome. I watched everything that I could to get a gauge on this market and understand it. So, and now I'm here. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, that's the only way to go about it. I think at the end of the day, you just have to start. You have to start somewhere, right? And so I'm glad that you got off the Netflix, started hitting the books. I'm sure that brought you to a lot of education online, which is always out there. And that's why I do this show too, right? I mean, there's definitely free education out there that you can learn and build your skills off of. And then once you started looking at trading, what side did you go into first? Did you go into more of the day trading side, swing trading, options? What has it been?
I went straight to scalps, and there's a big reason for that. Scalp trading is successful in any market, right? Whether that's a bear market or a bull market, you take your money and you run with it. And I think that I've been the most successful at that. I want to say last year when we were in a little bit of a linear bull market, you could have swung anything overnight and made money. That's the reality of it. Yeah, but look, so right now we're in a little bit of a choppy market. Started off, especially in July, I would say it was a heavily choppy market. See profit, take profit, move on. That's how it's all about capital preservation, not just hitting the home runs, 100%, 200% plays. They always come, but they don't come every day. So it's all about taking profit when you see it and then moving on to the next trade.
Love it. Love it. Couldn't said it better myself. I definitely have to agree with everything you said there. And so let's go into a little bit more about your trading. So what kind of setups are we looking for? So you said it, you're scalping. Do you scalp more based off of flags? Is it that kind of strategy? How do you go about it?
So I'm a breakout trader originally, and I love the breakouts. I love flag breakouts. I love double bottom breakouts. I think that they're awesome setups. I love bounce plays, though. I will say, buy the dip, sell the rip. I always say that.
Can't blame you.
And that is the best when it comes to momentum trading. I love it. I see the demand come in, and I go ahead and take advantage of that. Jump in, and then as soon as it rips up, I'm going to be trimming alongside and take my profit, move on to the next trade each time, hold my runners at break even stop loss. That way it's all about capital preservation, and then move on.
100%. You got to keep your capital underneath you. And one of the things, so when you attack these scalps, are you more along using the 1 minute or a 5 minute chart? What kind of chart do you like to use?
So psychological aspect, number one, I use the 5 minute, and there's a reason for that. 1 minute, you see a little bit of a pullback, you see a little red, and you might get a little scared, right? Naturally, obviously, this market is run on human emotion. And that is one thing that I preach to everyone that uses the 1 minute. To be honest with you, I started off using the 1 minute when I first started trading, and I had no idea what I was doing. 5 minutes is where it's at for me. I also use the hourly as well. For swing trading, I will use the 4 hour or the daily. Those are my favorites.
Love it. I understand completely. One of the things that I started doing is when I first got into trading, I always laughed because we look on the charts and they're color coded, right? Green and red, right? And so I think that creates emotion itself. So let alone a 1 minute candle that's moving so quickly, you're getting, it's an excessive amount of data through your decision-making process. And what I learned through the 1 minute candle is more along, not necessarily that I can't take trades, is that you overanalyze a lot of the times when you're looking at that 1 minute. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. I think you do overanalyze it. Like I said, you usually get stopped out a little bit earlier. And so for me, it's all about using that 5 minute and the hourly. You don't get stopped out. You're not super emotional in the trade, and you're kind of waiting for the play to play out, right? So when I'm in a trade, I wait for that trade to play out. It only makes sense. It makes sense where I don't get stopped out, but then I'm all about risk management. So when I'm scalp trading, 20% maximum stop loss for me. And I'm very, very strict on that. Once again, that just comes with capital preservation. I want to be able to preserve that capital. And then guess what? If that trade doesn't work out, we move on to the next trade and we take that capital and utilize it there.
That's the only way I always talk about it. It's not about winning or losing. It's just about setting yourself up in the probability. Once you start really noticing that you don't win or lose, just the market either gives you that return or you don't get that return and you stop out, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
There's just two decisions that happen. If you keep it to that, the emotions can at least set at bay a little bit. So
Absolutely.
you mentioned a little bit there about swing trading. So do you ever try to take a little bit more swing trades? Let's say, like you mentioned, in alpha hourly, it's in dailies.
Absolutely. I mean, example is I swung a heavier, or you could say a heavier, for me it wasn't too heavy, but I swung a pretty big position of Amazon yesterday. And what was I looking at? I was looking for a nice bull flag on the hourly. Saw the setup, it was there, dumped off a little bit right before market close, no big deal, didn't panic and didn't freak out and sell, was down about 7% on my position. And I went ahead and I swung it based on that setup. And guess what? It paid off, right? The 3300s paid off today. Actually went up to 100%, took my profits and moved on for the day. I love swing trading, but the market has to be right for the swing trade. The chart has to be right. That particular sector has to be hitting. And if you're in a bear market, there has to be some sort of catalyst for it to sink. So it just kind of depends on the setup itself. But I love both markets. I love the bear market. I love the bull market. It just, like I said, it's all about getting into the right trade during the right time, seeing profit, taking profit, and then moving on to the next trade at that time.
Perfect. So how do you find your trade ideas? Are you more of, let's say, looking for social aspects? Are you more of a scanner user? How do you kind of find your trade ideas?
So I'm my own scanner. I use my eyes, but my main thing that I'll tell you is I trade on supply and demand. Supply meaning sellers, where the sellers are sitting, and demand meaning where the buyers are sitting. All right. So what that basically means to me is support and resistance also exists, but supply and demand are dynamic at that time. So I trade the dynamic, which is always changing. I will say though that when it comes to different tickers that I'm looking at, especially pre-market, I look for the catalyst. Where's the analyst upgrades at? Where the downgrades at? Where's the price target changes? There's so much that goes into it. You want to sometimes see what the Asian market is doing, European market, and you want to overall gauge the market sentiment. I'm always looking at the market sentiment. That's what's going to show me, is this actual ticker strong right now in this market? Whether you see SPY and Qs dumping, doesn't matter. Is this specific ticker going to be strong enough to hold up? So you want to be able to gauge it. And one thing, just a little secret that I give out, guys, watch Apple. I always watch Apple. Apple is a market mover. I always watch Apple while I'm going to go ahead and correlate the other futures and then correlate the stock that I'm watching with the volume included.
Definitely, I have to agree. One of the things is I pay attention to two names that I feel, Apple and Tesla. I know Tesla's been gone for about a year, but the day that it starts ripping again, you sure bet on it that it'll definitely take the market with it. So I love that you mentioned that Apple. I agree with you. It's also in so many people's portfolios, right? In so many retirement portfolios. Those are the stocks that just have like a sitting basket of volume. And then when the momentum comes in them, I mean, you see what's happened to those that when they definitely move. Hey, I got to say, I got a question from the chat here. So Christy's asking, do you trade options too, or just kind of stocks?
So I mainly trade options, guys. I will say, Christy, though, I really, really like equity trading as well. In my long-term portfolio, I have a couple of positions. One is NVIDIA. As you can see, NVIDIA has been flying, right? And that could come with the news of Nancy Pelosi or whatever. But there's a lot of people that don't want to miss a train this time. right? So there's a lot of FOMO involved in that stock. So, that might be a good long-term equity hold. RKT, I love. I'm waiting for a nice price point of about $16 or so in order to get in. Another one, Virgin Galactic. We call it Spacey, SPCE. Awesome stock. I think that with the offering itself, it kind of died off when it came to the amount of buyers that were sitting at that point. Now you just kind of see a little bit of a sell-off, and it actually broke under that support and dived. But I think it's a great dip buy. And I think that for long-term, I really recommend it for my own portfolio. I recommend it to a lot of my friends and stuff like that, just when we're talking stocks. But I love it.
I have to say, I've enjoyed this conversation. I even let it go a little bit too long. Like I could keep this going for a while. Thank you for coming on, Sim. And where can everyone find you and also find Elite Capital if they want to go ahead?
So I'm on Twitter, guys. Simply_Sim1 is my Twitter handle. I'm also on Instagram as well. You guys can look us up. Elite.cap is on our Instagram. And for our Discord, you can go ahead and go on Elite.cap's page. And we're actually in the bio, and we're also in my bio on Twitter as well, where you can come and check it out. Shoot me a DM. I'm always here to answer all questions. And thank you guys, Benzinga, for bringing me on. Appreciate it.
Couldn't say it better. Guys, check out my description also below, and you'll be able to get right to her Twitter. Will make everything that much easier. Thank you for joining me, Sim. I have to say, we have to bring you back on. Probably we'll bring you on when we could talk a little bit more about your actual trade ideas. We had fun learning more about you as a trader, so we'll definitely bring you back.
Thank you, Money Mitch, and thank you guys, Benzinga, for having me on once again. You guys have a great day.
Have a great one. All right, well, there you guys have it. Definitely smash that like button. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes today. I've been trying to bring some traders on so that you guys can learn some different perspective, right? It's not just about Money Mitch. It's about learning from other traders. And like what I like to do, hey, it's not just one variable. You heard her mention it. She's looking for catalysts. She's looking for the fundamental analysis. What are the analysts thinking? She's combining variables. It's not just the breakout. That's one thing that I definitely got from that interview, is that she's combining some variables that give her the best probability to be in the right names. Because, I mean, we can't take every trade. I mean, that's just the truth. We don't got 6 hands, so we got to be in the best viable trades. It looked like she's definitely trying to attack that. All right, guys, that's probably going to do it for me today. Up next, you guys got Cannabis Insiders. So if you guys want to learn all about cannabis, this is exactly where you want to stick around and learn. What you're going to be learning about today is those cannabis stocks, different catalysts that could make these stocks run. And also, stay tuned. I mean, they got a great cannabis conference coming up. Ask them all about it. I'm going to bring you guys to there right now so that you guys don't miss any of the action. And definitely, if Javi's there, say hello, man. That guy's been killing the game lately. I'll see you guys next time. We're going to keep attacking these stocks like we've always do. Guys, pay attention to those industries. Like I try to do always, guys, sector to industry to micro. So macro to micro look. If you work that look, you're going to be able to at least find yourself on the right side of the herd. If we can find ourselves on the right side of the herd, a lot of times, at least, probability is going to fall on our side. Like always, guys, I'll keep coming at it. You guys let me know what you want to see more of. Do you want to see some more interviews? Do you guys want me to do some more analysis? Whatever it may be, I'll definitely be getting at it. And if you didn't check out my 5 must-have stocks today, go check it out on YouTube. Right there on Benzinga's YouTube. I put it out there this morning, and I mean, the watch list is already up over 5%. So, hey, guys, check out the video. We'll see you guys next time.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money